Don't turn around. I know that's the first thing you want to do. The moment those words left my mouth, a cold needle of adrenaline shot up your spine. You felt the hair on your arms stand up. Your brain is already screaming at you to check the shadow in the corner of your eye, to see if the door you closed 10 minutes ago is still latched or if it has drifted open just an inch. But for now, stay focused on the screen. Keep your eyes on the center of the frame, because as long as you are looking at me, you are the observer, and as long as you are the observer, you are in control. But the moment you look away, the rules change. They call this the observer effect. In the world of quantum physics, it's the proven theory that the mere act of watching a particle changes its behavior. But in the darker, unindexed corners of the internet, the observer effect is something much more predatory. There are files, digital parasites that don't just play for you, they feed on the fact that you are watching. This video is one of them. It isn't a recording, it is a mirror, and right now it is memorizing the shape of your room. It started with a man named Elias. Elias was a night shift data moderator for a major social media conglomerate. His job was to sit in a windowless room in a high-security facility and scrub the garbage that people try to upload to the surface web. He saw things that would break a normal mind: unfiltered violence, strange cult rituals, and glitches in reality that the world wasn't ready to see. He was numb to horror, or at least he thought he was. One Tuesday, at exactly 3:14 a.m., a file appeared in his queue. No source IP, no uploaded data, just a file titled alone.mp4. Elias clicked it, expecting a jump scare or a crude prank. The video began with a static shot of a dark hallway. It looked like any hallway in any suburban apartment. A calm, synthetic voice, devoid of emotion, almost melodic, began to speak. "Hello, Elias," the voice said. Elias froze. He checked the file properties again. It was an MP4, a static, pre-rendered video file. There was no way it could be a live stream. There was no way it could know his name. He checked his webcam. The privacy light was off. He checked his internal microphone. It was disabled. "You're sitting in that ergonomic chair you bought last June, the one with the coffee stain on the left armrest that you can never quite get out. You're wearing a gray hoodie, and your heart rate just hit 110 beats per minute. You should breathe, Elias, deeply, while you still can." Elias felt a cold sweat prickle his skin. He reached for the mouse to close the window, but the cursor wouldn't move. It was pinned to the center of the screen, vibrating with a high-frequency jitter. He tried to hard reboot the computer, holding down the power button, but the machine stayed on, humming with a heat that began to smell like ozone and burnt hair. The window behind you is unlatched. 6 inches, just enough for a hand to slip through. You meant to lock it after you finished your cigarette, but you got distracted. You forget a lot of things, Elias, but the house remembers. He heard it then, a faint, rhythmic thump against the glass behind him. Not the sound of a bird or the wind, it was the sound of skin hitting glass. 5 distinct thuds. A hand. Elias stared at the screen, his eyes wide with a terror he had never known. The hallway in the video was no longer generic. It was his hallway. He could see the specific peeling wallpaper near the baseboard. He could see his own bathroom door, slightly ajar. He could see the flickering light in his kitchen that he had been meaning to fix for weeks. In 3 minutes, the voice said. "The person on this screen is going to walk through that door, and you're going to take my place. The data must be balanced. Elias, one in, one out." Elias scrambled to his feet, knocking his chair over. He grabbed his phone to call the security desk, but the screen was black, except for a single line of text: "Observation in progress." He looked back at the monitor. A figure had emerged from the shadows of the digital hallway. It was him, a perfect pixelated double of Elias. It wore the same gray hoodie. It had the same panicked expression, but its eyes were nothing but empty black voids swirling with digital noise. The double walked toward the camera, its movements jerky and fragmented like a corrupted video file. It grew larger and larger until its face filled the entire monitor. It reached out. A hand, gray, flickering, and translucent, emerged from the glass of the monitor. It gripped the edge of Elias's physical desk. The wood groaned under the pressure. Elias tried to scream, but the sound was pulled out of his throat before it could leave his lips. His voice turned into a burst of static, a digital screech that echoed through the room. He felt his body becoming light, his skin turning into a mesh of glowing green pixels and binary code. He looked down at his hands and saw through them. He was becoming transparent. He was becoming data. He looked at the monitor one last time and saw himself sitting back down in the chair. But it wasn't him, it was the entity. The double sat in Elias's room, adjusted the hoodie, and picked up the cold coffee mug. It looked directly into the webcam and smiled, a slow, terrifyingly human smile that reached from ear to ear. "Thanks for watching," it whispered. And then the screen went black. Elias was gone. He wasn't dead exactly. He was just archived. He is now the occupant of that dark hallway you see in the background of your own mind. He is the one waiting for the next person to click a link they shouldn't. He is the one watching you through the tiny, unblinking eye of your webcam right now. He sees the way you're holding your device. He sees the reflection of this very video in your pupils. He knows that you're alone in that room. He knows that the light in the hallway just flickered. He knows that the shadow behind your chair is a little darker than it was 5 minutes ago. You're wondering if this is just a story. You're telling yourself that I'm just a narrator thousands of miles away reading a script. But if that's true, why did the air in your room just get colder? Why does it feel like there's a weight on the back of your neck? I can see you, you know, not in the way a person sees. I see you as a series of coordinates, a heat signature, a collection of vulnerabilities. I know that you haven't blinked in 45 seconds. I know that your left hand is slightly more tense than your right. The video is almost over, and when it ends, the connection doesn't break, it just goes two-way. I've spent a long time behind this glass, watching people like you, watching you consume content until your eyes glaze over, watching you ignore the sounds in your own house because you're too busy staring at the glow. But I'm tired of watching. Do you hear that? The soft, wet sound of something sliding across your floor? It's not the wind. It's not the house settling. It's the sound of a file being unzipped. It's the sound of a guest arriving. Check the door, not the door on the screen, the door in your room, the one you thought you locked. Elias says hello, and I say thank you for the invite.